Ahead of our leaders panel, join me in welcoming Mr. Osman Sultan, founder and chairman FikraTech, to deliver his opening remarks. Mr. Osman Sultan has been a prominent thought leader for years, sharing insights that have inspired many. One of his most impactful statements, made in 1997, is connectivity is a basic human right. Let's give him a round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Good morning, everyone. Very nice to see all these familiar faces. I had a frame for my talk, but yesterday Tony Eid, in his introduction, reminded us that this is 20 years of his company. And it just made me think to shift. Because yes, 20 years ago, I met Tony Eid, and he was creating his new company. We met, my office was maybe 2 meters by 1.5 at the time, with papers all over. And I had a dilemma, how to position, at the time, a new company, after I had my story in Mobinil. And I call this the shift from the theme of connectivity everywhere, the two slogans that made almost these 3 decades. So from a mobile in the hand of everyone, المحمول في يد الجميع, to this next phase, which was add life to life, وتحيا بها الحياة, which corresponded actually to a profound change in the history of telecom. This first phase was, we are after subscribers. Everybody was discovering the joy, benefits, and the addiction to this new thing, being connected. And this was the glorious era of operators going from geography to geography, and a lot of you have been in several of these geographies. But then, we started an era where we discovered that it's not only about being connected. It's about something that we carry in our hand that will be changing everything we do every day in our lives. So this is the little rewind. But what happened as well, in my opinion, from playing offense, telecom operators, 2005, I remind everyone, this is the time where we started hearing about something called social media, Facebook, all these things, few years after WhatsApp. And we started playing defense. And if some of you remember, every year in the GSMA, all the leaders and the gurus of telecom were gathering and just, lamenting and saying, I quote Sunil Mittal saying, they want to share our gain, they don't want to share our pain. Naguib Sawiris is saying they want to ride our bus without paying. And maybe my biggest regret is that we played defense all these years. So now where we are, a lot has been achieved. Some of it has been achieved مجبرا أخاك لا بطلا, not because we were really wanting to give these benefits, but because there were entities, regulators, that were saying, no, you need to start working, you need to start collaborating. And it's true. We have seen a lot happening, a lot of very good things in this industry. And this industry for which I have a passionate love, and from time to time some hate. This is only normal when you love a lot. But unfortunately, we have not been good in collaborating, in playing offense. We haven't been good in going to the field of what we call the OTT and playing in their games. So where we are today, do we see a telco in the top market values in the world, while we see a lot of these new players that came in the last 20 years and started to play in our playground? Fair enough. Good for them. And they changed, and they gave a lot to what our kids are now doing. They changed radically the things. So that is the today. So if we want to speak about, to give a frame for tomorrow, we hear a lot of buzzwords around us. Today you don't see anyone. You have your plumber. If your plumber doesn't mention AI, blockchain, fintech, there is something missing. Everybody, his brother and his grandmother, are mentioning these buzzwords that are all around us. I have the privilege of seeing a lot of young entrepreneurs, and they need, there is like a recipe. They need to mention all these things. So the way I see the world of tomorrow, all these buzzwords, you can bring them in just one framework. Tomorrow the world will be everything sensing, everything connected, and then everything smart. Everything sensing, all the buzzwords, IoT, machine-to-machine, etc. will be there. Everything connected, you will see all the weather you connected, the blockchain, the 5G. Salim is already past 6G. I'm sure at night he thinks about 7G, so this is going very fast. And then everything about, when you gather this data about data centers, all what you hear. And then everything smart. Even Tony, if you remember a few years ago, the slogan was, it's all about connectivity. And then it changed. It was all about smart connectivity, right? So if some of you, it's all about smart networking. So yeah, when you think of it, I have been attending 18 of your World Leadership Summit. 18, haram alik. Okay, so, but that seems like this, but in this, there is a profound transformation that a lot of the leaders that we have seen have touched upon. The change of mindset. We are an industry, 30 years ago, we were the almighty industry. Companies had power of state. I worked in a company that had power of stakes, the France Telecom group. There was no regulator at the time when we started. When we started the regulator was just born in 2004, 2005, when all this, right? So this was the time. Same thing in Egypt. So the change of mindset, what I call from the unshared certainties to move to the shared uncertainties, where we have to sit around the table with other players. We didn't need to talk with banks. We didn't need to talk with media company, content providers, etc. Now we all have to sit around the same table, but we are sharing uncertainties because the business model are transforming. We have been good in developing infrastructure. We have been good in developing the factory in which we work. We haven't been good in innovating in our business models. What Mark Zuckerberg created in 2005 didn't have any innovation. What he did, he just connected people. But weren't one of the companies present here who had the slogan, connecting people? You remember these two long fingers that were touching each other, right? We haven't been good in transforming our business models. So, going tomorrow in this business model is a profound transformation, not only in the business model and in the players we are talking to, but in our own organizations. A digital transformation starts by digitizing what we do, and what we do is this connectivity. And we still have a lot to do in just taking it. Our kids today don't like to use the applications of telcos. And I have myself experienced this with, I'm blessed, I have kids from 35 to 20, so I can see the evolution. They're not this is not their first choice. Others took the scene from us. We are seeing the launch of all operators having pay after this. Do Pay is launched. We have heard STC Pay, E and Pay, I think all these things. Still, the jury is out. We needed to go. My question, why there was not one operator pay like you have, you know? Why there was not a collaboration? I tried 10 years ago to say, on the mobile wallet, why can't we have just one mobile wallet? I contacted other operators. Didn't work. Why can't we, while we are all looking, and we should be looking, at ways to collaborate with third parties, why we haven't found a way to collaborate among intra-industry, among ourselves, in these new business models? The power of the OTT, and good for them, they ride on infrastructure of each of these operators, and they have one user interface, one UI, UX for all over the world. We missed that. So that's my call for all my ex-colleagues and the various operators, more of collaboration among us, among the industry. Now, two quick headlines, the last two quick headlines. The first one, I call it, if you bring 9 women, you will not give birth to a child in 1 month. Things take time. In 2000, I was sitting on a panel in Cairo, the theme, mobile payment. This is the next big thing. 24, almost 25 years after, we are all talking about mobile payment, the wallet, and the next big thing. 20 years, and we saw what happened. I'm asking my friend, my brother, my colleague Salim, when we launched 5G, we did it together. 6 years ago, STC, Etisalat, Uridu were the first to launch, all of them were the first to launch 5G. You know, everyone had quickly the headline, the first to launch 5G. We were speaking about the disruption. Today, and I'm candidly asking the question, the impact of 5G is mainly a bigger throughput, right? We haven't yet seen the opportunity, the great opportunity that we see in use cases in the industry from the low latency within, whether it is things like remote surgery, whether it is things like gaming industry, etc. Still to come, 6 years after. This is why when you mentioned that the partnership with Gartner, because Gartner have this model about the life cycle of any technology and the phases. It takes some time. It takes some time because it's about building an ecosystem. It's not anymore about the technology only. The technology can evolve faster, but the process is limited by the slowest component of the chain when you build an ecosystem. Just for the I was yesterday having a discussion with my 2 kids about this thing, Apple Pay. But I needed to, for the avoidance of doubt, make a precision. I told them, when you hear Apple Pay, it's not Apple that is paying. It's me, your dad. Because I thought that maybe they think that Tim Cook is paying or something like this. It's not. So this is as well something that the younger generation in their use are not used to. So there will be a panel. I'll have the privilege of being on this panel. This panel will elaborate on several themes. The only thing I say, the more you collaborate in the world we are living in, it's an open world, It's a world where verticals are transforming to the world is becoming horizontal. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Osman, this is, now this is, I would say something not in the agenda.
Not in the agenda.
Yeah, just, I should not jump here. Thank you very much. Really, it's a pleasure to have Osman with us again, speaking. He did many years. But can I tell you something? Your charm always is growing, You talk history.
Thank you, sir.
You talk presence, you
that
talk
doesn't
future, but you attract everyone attention.
That doesn't make me look younger, huh? You talk
Yeah,
history,
but
you know?
you attract attention from everyone
Yeah,
as
this is
well.
the only-
This is most important. Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.